All this guy does is talk negatively about the job market and employers in 2024. That was one of the comments that was left on a recent video I did. For any of you who don't know me, I've been in the recruitment space for coming up to a decade. I put out tons and tons of content on this channel and other channels, including LinkedIn, Instagram. I've got a newsletter and I got a podcast. But with how the job market's been recently and with all the layoffs we've had, I can see why some of my more recent content has been taken in more of a negative light. So I wanted to hop on here and give you 5 tips for 2024 for your resume that will hopefully help you be successful in this job search, even though, as you guys know, it is really brutal. And so if you're having a tough time, the first thing I want you to know is you're not alone. So number 1, my first tip is you gotta make sure you're actually applying to jobs you are qualified for. So I don't mean you have to be 100% qualified, but you should at least be 70 to 80% qualified. Meaning if they're asking for 10 years sales experience, you better have 7 or 8 years of sales experience. I think any less than that, shooting a shot is always fine, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but you can end up wasting time just applying to jobs you aren't qualified for. Number 2, make sure each line on your resume really supports the job you're applying to. So if you're applying to different types of jobs, for example, if you're going for maybe marketing or sales, or maybe you're doing engineering, but you're kind of going in between 2 types of jobs, make sure that you have 2 different resumes. And even within that, if you're applying to individual jobs, give the job description a quick read through and just make sure each line on your resume supports the fact that you'd be a good fit for the job. What hiring managers are looking at is what you've accomplished in the past makes sense for the job you're applying to. Like, has what you've accomplished shown and demonstrated that you'll be a good fit in the role that they're looking to fill? Number 3, this one is huge. I cannot tell you how many people miss this off, but quantify. Put numbers down. Give context to the work you've done. Don't speak about just responsibilities and tasks. Talk about what you've accomplished. Talk about money you've saved a company, money you made with a company, how big the clients were that you worked with. If you can name the clients you've worked with, even better. And I don't care whether you're in sales, marketing, or accounting, you can give scope for the work that you've done. If you are really clear with what you've accomplished, I promise you your resume will stick out. Number 4, list all of your technical skills and cut out the fluff. What I mean by this is any software that you've used, list it. If you've worked with SQL or Tableau, put it on your resume and get rid of the fluff. Nobody cares if you're a team player, a collaborator, enthusiastic, a self-starter. Nobody is searching for those skills, and everybody says they're a self-starter and a collaborator. Nobody says that they're lazy and they want to work alone. And number 5, this one is huge. Do not try and fit everything into 1 page if you can. If you need to go to 2 pages, it's totally fine. And know the type of position you're applying to. For example, I speak to a lot of IT leaders who, as hiring managers, don't actually mind 3 or 4 pages of resume as long as each project is listed and it goes into depth. Some people want to see all of your experience, but know your audience. I would say best practice, 1 to 2 pages is totally fine. And if you've got 1.5 pages, totally fine. Don't feel the need to squeeze everything into 1 page. All you need to do is take a look at each bullet point and make sure, yes, this shows the recruiter that's going to view this resume for 10 to 30 seconds. This bullet point shows I'm going to be a good fit for the position that I applied for. So do me a favor, if this was helpful, please share it with someone who's on the job search, and do me a favor, please follow if you want more valuable advice. I am going to be adding more and more job searching tips. I've heard your cry. Thanks a lot, guys.